On this episode of Cruising Arizona, I'm going to show you guys my entire beach cruiser collection. The problem all started in 2020. Let's go back to the COVID era where we were all stuck. We couldn't go anywhere, and a bunch of my friends got together and we decided that we wanted to start riding beach cruisers. And not just any beach cruisers, we wanted to customize them. So we all started with some basic beach cruisers, and then I guess the sickness just started from there. So in this video, I'm going to show you each one of these beach cruisers and tell you something a little bit about them. Bike number one is a 24-inch girls Huffy CRANBROok. We use this bike for our first bike build video, and you can see that video here. And then for about a year, it just rotted outside. Bike number two was Amber's first beach cruiser. It's a Huffy CRANBROok bike that originally was blue, and then we painted it and started customizing it. She rode around on this bike, and you've probably seen it in numerous videos. It's a great starter bike, but it's time to move on. The third bike I bought was a men's Huffy CRANBROok. I bought this so my buddy would have something to ride when we filmed the Lake Havasu city ride. Bike number four I bought for my oldest daughter, put some cool Vans grips on it, did a stainless steel cup holder on it, and she never really rode it. Number five is my first DIABLO Colby cruiser. My friends called it the Green Monster or the Shrek bike. And my family joked around that I should dress up as the Grinch and go downtown Gilbert and ride it, which we still might do. But it's the only bike in the collection that needs maintenance right now. And you've probably saw this video or this bike from putting on a Springer front end. Still a cool bike, I just need to work on it. Number six is one of my favorite bikes. It's called the BLACKTOP prototype. It was my experiment. If I had to build the perfect beach cruiser, what would it look like? I made 3 videos of this and have ridden this around everywhere. This is a great bike. I have great memories on this bike, and it was a great experiment to build a cool bike with a beat up old Colby cruiser that was neglected. Family still rides it. Everyone still likes to, borrow it. It's a cool bike, and I still ride it from time to time. Very cool. I'll probably keep it forever. Up next is the Bumblebee bike. So this is my middle daughter's bike, and she came to me and she wanted a cool bike, and she was jealous of her sister's yellow Volkswagen Bug. So she wanted a Bumblebee bike that looked like her sister's Bug, and that's how this all started. And literally she just rode it yesterday when this video was released, and my son likes this bike and my oldest daughter likes this bike, and it gets used a lot. And you can see the actual build of this bike here in these 2 videos, and I don't think this bike is going anywhere. We love it, and this started a lot of different project bikes at our household. The next bike on my list is Series 2 EASTMARK Let's Ride bike. If you don't know about Souls out of Mesa, Arizona, they created 3 series of these EASTMARK bikes for EASTMARK residents when you purchased a home. And this white one is the second version of this EASTMARK bike. Soul did something cool with this. They put a lot of details of the EASTMARK community in this design. They stamped in the EASTMARK logo on each one of these bikes. So no matter what you do to this bike, if you customize it, it's still gonna have that EASTMARK logo stamped in by the rear wheel. I purchased this one from a friend at work. He said, "Hey, I have this EASTMARK bike. You want to buy it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll give you $100 for it." And then got it home, took the fenders off, and threw on those big apes and some Vans grips. It's a cool bike. Been riding it ever since. Next is the Series 3 of the Soul EASTMARK bike. Once I got one of these EASTMARK bikes, I had to have all 3 series. So I've been searching around for all 3 colors, and this one came up on OfferUp for $100. I went out there, and the lady had a great story. She bought a house in EASTMARK. She rode the thing twice, and it's been in her garage ever since, and she moved away from EASTMARK. But this thing was pristine, super clean. So I had to pick it up. I think I paid $100 for this one too. And I did the same thing to this one I did to the other one. Put some apes on it, put a cup holder, and put some Vans grips. After purchasing all the Soul EASTMARK bikes I could find, I wanted to get some other Soul bikes. So I started doing some research, looked into their pre-Stomper era bikes. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe these are called the Halo. What I didn't realize about it was it didn't have the original wheels. I figured that out later on, and that was kind of a bummer. I did talk to some employees at Soul, and they said that this was a really popular color that came out, and it weathered nicely. So it used to be lime green, fluorescent, but in the Arizona sun, it aged out and turned almost turquoise. And they said it was a real popular color back in the day. So I put some apes on it, put a green seat and some green Vans grips, and I'll see what I'll do with this thing next. I think I paid $120 for this off of OfferUp. All right, this next Soul is another Halo that I purchased for my son. And it all started when my son and his cousins went on a bike ride to downtown Gilbert. And up to this point, my son has been riding BMX bikes, but his cousins wanted to ride beach cruisers. So this was a pivotal point in my son's life where he didn't want to ride BMX bikes anymore. He wanted to ride a Soul. And not just any Soul, he wanted a custom Soul that was cool like his sister's Bumblebee bike. So when I asked him, okay, what kind of Soul do we need to make for you? And he's like, I want a red one, and I want it to look like Optimus Prime. So I just picked this up just a little bit ago, and this is the next Soul project that I'm gonna do. And we're gonna make this thing look like Optimus Prime from the Transformers with flames and logos and anything else we can think of. So I haven't done much to it. I've put some blue Vans grips on it, a cup holder, and some apes, and we'll just see where this takes us and how long it'll take us to get this project done. The next bike is actually two bikes. I bought two identical bikes. It all started when I saw an ad on OfferUp for some mulberry bikes, and I was in the market for some ladies bikes because who doesn't need ladies bikes as well? Now these mulberry bikes were the exact same concept as the EASTMARK bike. If you purchased a house in the mulberry housing development, they would provide you with two bikes, but this time they had ladies bikes. And these bikes came with this high-end basket on the front that was woven or whatever. The baskets didn't interest me. I was just interested in a couple ladies bikes. But the cool thing that happened is when I picked up these bikes at Soul, I actually got to meet the owner, Jim Decker. And he was very kind, and we talked about what else? Soul bikes. He proceeded to give me a tour of the shop, and it was great. You know, if you've never gone down to Soul, check them out. They have some amazing e-bikes right now that eventually I'll get one. And I've been saving my best bikes for last. This is my first Soul that I purchased. And you can't tell from this video, this was Series 1 EASTMARK Original, the orange one. And I started looking into Souls because I read about the owner, Jim Decker, talking about how he builds his bikes. He said that they were built for bigger dudes or something like that. And these frames are overbuilt. And I was looking for an overbuilt bike that was stretched out for a bigger dude. So when I found a candidate online through OfferUp, I picked up this Beat One for $60. Had flat tires. It looks like it's been left out in the yard for a year or 5. And it was a great candidate to build a custom bike. So I started making a plan, and I decided I was gonna make a hot rod retro looking beach cruiser. And I knew I really liked the wheels off the Colby Diablo cruisers because they had a lot of spokes. So I stole the wheels off a Diablo, which ended up being the Bumblebee bike. And then I started looking at custom beach cruisers that used triple trees for their forks. So I picked up, some triple trees off eBay, and then I started building this bike. I decided I wanted to powder coat this bike in a satin black, old hot rod style. So I went to my local powder coating shop and had the frame powder coated, brought everything back, and started building this bike. So I made 2 videos on this build, and you can watch them if you want to see the process. So overall, this is my favorite bike. I put the parts on it that I wanted. I spent the money on some cool trick stuff, and I'm making this as my go-to hot rod, really. So future plans for this bike may include a 3-speed conversion with, I don't know, maybe a custom billet shifter from Lawless Bikes. So the last bike on the list is one of my favorites as well. This is my wife's bike. This is a Soul Halo for the ladies. I picked up this bike for $60, and this has the 3-inch wheels, I believe, on it, and I just couldn't pass it up. It has the iridescent white paint with the pink accents, and I built this for my wife. She really likes it. I put some nice tires on it. I put some apes. Just recently put the pink grips on it, and it's my wife's pretty bike, and she loves it. So overall, this is my collection. I think the phrase is, admitting you have a problem is the first step to recovery. And like my wife mentioned, I do have a bike problem. If you think I have a bike problem as well, go ahead and click on that thumbs up, and we'll just pretend that that means I have a bike problem, or you like the video. And secondly, leave a comment down below on which bike is your favorite out of this collection. And if you're into beach cruising, maybe I'm missing a bike. Tell me what bike I should look for. I try to stick to Arizona bikes. So if there's one that I don't have, point it out to me and I'll go look at it. I appreciate everyone's support, and we'll end this video with my family's favorite bikes. Which beach cruiser is your favorite beach cruiser?
Well, mine.
Which one's yours?
Bumblebee bike.
Oh, the Bumblebee bike.
It's my favorite.
Awesome. Shelby,
Yes.
What is your favorite beach cruiser?
The Bumblebee one.
I like it. I told you.
It's a good one. It's my favorite.
Jack, what's your favorite beach cruiser?
Mine.
What's yours?
Mine is the Optimus Prime one. Well, it's turned into Optimus Prime, but it's now the orange one.
It's the Orange Soul, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Amber.
How many bikes do you have? 13.
15.
Jason, that's too many. We need to sell some of them or give them away.
We'll see. When I start making money on YouTube, maybe I'll do a giveaway. What's your favorite bike of ours?
Mine, my white one with the hearts and the pink.
Ooh. Everyone wishes you well
I know.
in recovery. Maybe someday you can ride with me soon.
I am kicking cancer's ass and I can't wait to go bike riding.
Awesome.
Beach cruise.
Hashtag take a ride for Amber.
Love you.